Battle Royales, the game mode genre that took the world by storm. You got high stakes, action, and risk, but only one team can win. That's Battle Royale, y'all. Today I want to go into the reasons why I don't like it. How, despite trying very hard to get into them, I've failed at every turn, and even friends being adamant that I'd like this one or that one, I just don't. Now, obviously, there's nothing wrong with playing or liking BRs. This video is actually just personal introspective thoughts as to why I don't like them, in hopes that, frankly, I'm not the only one. First of all, the time commitment involved with BRs versus the enjoyment had. And I know some of them are faster paced than others, but the reality is that jumping into almost any BR match could end up being a 20 to 30 minute endeavor, or on the flip side, a 30-second speed run to the death. See, there's a bunch of variants, and my problem isn't exactly with the length of matches going too long, but more with the enjoyment of those longer matches. Don't get me wrong, I like to win a BR match and, get that chicken dinner. And if you're going to win the match, of course, you're last one standing, so it's going to be a longer match. But far too often do these 30-minute games end up with nothing happening until one big firefight, and then you're dead. It's a high-stakes game, and, I get that. But for me, it just doesn't desperately make me want to keep playing, which, of course, is its goal. Instead, I feel like I just burned 30 minutes. It's not a good feeling. I'm ready to throw in the towel and go play something else. Like, I've got a few hours, about 2 to 3 times a week at most, to play games. It's quite a lot of time, frankly, and I'm blessed to have that time, and I prize it highly. So wasting a 30-minute chunk of time like that can be downright painful. I also have responsibilities and goals I could be working on. Those things would produce more meaning, get more done, quotation marks. But obviously video games aren't meant for meaning. They're meant for leisure. And frankly, I don't get enjoyable leisure time from BRs. See, the experience and the thrill, namely the thrill, is the selling point of BRs, and I'm not interested. I guess I just value a different goal for my game time. Another thing I dislike about the BR genre is its match variety. I know what you're thinking. Match variety being a problem? What is this guy on, and let's ban it? Okay, but just hear me out real quick. I come from arena shooters. I know the maps, the weapons, and the characters, and so on. The only randomness to the matches of the games that I like to play is the decisions of other players. There's no picking X building and getting X gun, and if you're lucky because you picked a better building, frankly, somewhat accidentally, now you win that gunfight because the other guy, he don't got a gun. Or you're on the flip side of it and you can't find a weapon. There's a predictability lacking in BRs that I'm just not fond of. It's a skill ceiling in a way that I'm also just not a fan of. And yeah, I can understand it, with kind of gambling being on the rise. There's a particular flavor or allure to these battle royales, the chance, the variants that they offer. And also, let's not forget, battle royales make for incredible viewing content with the variety of the matches. Every time you watch a streamer, same map, picks a different spot to drop, it's a different experience, right? Another thing as well, though, is BRs are free to play. Going back to my video on free to play games, I personally feel like they're the epitome of time sinks. The progression is mostly meaningless and cosmetic. I understand that there's the ranked end of battle royales, and that has its own kind of flavor to progression, but let's be real. I'm not sticking around to play that much, play ranked, if I don't even enjoy the core gameplay loop. Besides that, type of skill progression isn't really interesting to me. It's somewhat of it is gun skill, but a lot of it I feel like is making vague bets with vague information when it comes to positioning, circle, and what kind of loadout your enemies might be running. That's another aspect of the randomness to the matches, and maybe there's an algorithm behind each game and how they do their circle, but to me, as a casual viewer from the outside, if you will, it's a random circle. Here's the good thing, though. Place I want to land the plane. Not every genre of video game has to be enjoyable for me. It's actually one of the great things about video games. The variety and different styles of game. And, just because one particular genre is popular or in, it doesn't mean you have to hop on the bandwagon. It's important to remember that video games are meant to be leisure time, And when done correctly, they can be really excellent, high quality leisure. Remember that the next time someone asks you to play a game you don't like, and you feel the massive FOMO creeping in, calling you to join in on the fun. It's important to play with friends and have experiences and share those with others, but it's also important to remember why we play video games specifically and kind of double check ourselves to make sure it's a healthy activity in our lives. So what do you think? Can anyone relate to my musings, or am I just babbling on about silliness? Is anyone else just not interested in BR? Thanks for watching. Have a good one.